Mr. Jamkhandi, Mr. A. Ayakanu, Director, Board of Apprenticeship Training, eminent academicians from across the country. A very good morning to you all. My name is Salim Ahmed and I come from the Electronic Sector Skill Council of India. I'll very briefly tell you how we are structured to skill manpower in the country in the electronic sector, and very briefly tell you about our activities and how we are engaged. I think this is a very extremely relevant forum here, where we're trying to bridge the gap between the academics and the industry, because that's what is required. And I come from a council which actually bridges the gap between the two, and does exactly that. We have had some wonderful presentations on the MSME sector, which has been an eye-opener, so has given a deep perspective about the whole how the sector employs the huge manpower after agriculture, which is the main vocation in the country. And then we had an excellent presentation on the apprenticeship, and it was an eye-opener that how so much is being done and big opportunities for the students coming out. On the first slide, yeah. See, if you see in the country that we are among the youngest countries in the world. Going forward, if you see the demographic dividends, the population of the country by 2020 is expected to be 50% population will be less than 30 years of age. So we have a huge population of young people who have aspirations and who want to go and join the workforce. So this, apart from being such a large population, it is also an opportunity which we can leverage to train and skill this manpower, and this is what the government is doing. They've come out with a policy on skill development, and government broadly plans to skill about 500 million people. That's about 50 crore in the next 10 years. This slide will show a slightly dismal scenario of the education and the current academic situation, where if you see, especially on the fourth side, on the undergraduate and diploma level courses, every year there are 24 million enrollments. And unfortunately, for whatever the reason, about 20 million people drop out. And these people, like these dropouts, then they could face a lot of problems in jobs. So from the skill perspective, we also try to develop skills on each level, and also try to target these people who have dropped out, apart from, of course, the highly educated engineers which we train. About the Electronic Sector Skill Council, we are a Sector Skill Council registered under the Ministry of Skill Development. We are a Section 8 company, not for profit organization, and we have been promoted by the 6 industry associations, Alcina, SIAMA, ISR, MITE. These 6 associations are actually, they cover the complete, they are a representative body of the complete electronic sector in the country. And we have been promoted with support from the NSDC, which is the body for coordinating the skill effort. Our vision is to facilitate a world-class ecosystem on skill-based training in the country, and vision is to establish a structured mechanism along with NSDC to strengthen the existing vocational system in the country. And the objective is to bring all the stakeholders, the academia, the industry, and the skilling organizations on a common platform, and to build a very robust and an effective skill development mechanism, particularly in the electronic sector. I'll just tell you very briefly about why electronics, actually, just 5, because the electronic policy is a very dynamic policy, and it aims to encourage manufacturing of the electronic in the country. As Sir pointed out, that we are importing about 65% of the electronics in the country, and if we continue at this rate, then soon the import of electronics may actually be more than the import of oil. So government has they have realized the importance of promoting the manufacturing in the country, and as a policy, the 5 major points that it envisages the market to be $400 billion in the next 5 years from the existing $70 billion. The government wants at least $100 billion of investments to come into the sector. Government wants at least $50 billion of the $400 billion to come from high-end electronics like embedded designs and software and other like higher-end IPRs, for which the eminent engineering capabilities they're sitting here can support. And the most important is that government wants and envisages creation of 28 million jobs within the policy. And that's where we are mentally geared towards that, to create a workforce to support the industry, the requirement of the workforce. Now, what we do as a council actually, there are three basic things we do as a council. Number one, the LMIS, QP, and NOSIS. LMIS is a label market information system where we seek to create a platform in which all the people we are skilling in various job roles are there on a common platform, and they can seek opportunities through the employers. It's a place, basically a virtual place where the employers and the prospective employers can meet. Apart from that, we develop the qualification packs, which is more of an outline of the curriculum. This is aligned to a particular job role. Now, this QP is a concept under the National Skill Qualification Framework, which is an existing framework government has promulgated in 2013, and it's a national framework which is expected to supersede all the previous skill-based or vocational-based programs in the country. The National Skill Qualification Framework essentially seeks to arrange all the job roles in the industry in a series of levels, 1 to 10, depending upon the competence, skills, and knowledge acquired by the candidate either through a formal education system, informal, or through non-formal means. It is based on a concept of a NOS, National Occupation Standard, which essentially is a benchmark of a standard of performance. The basic reason for NOS is that today, if we have a National Occupation Standard, it seeks to standardize education, skill-based education across the country, and tomorrow the national NOS can be aligned to the global NOSes. So it will have an opportunity for the Indian trained manpower to access jobs in the international and global markets. So apart from this, all the QPs and NOSes which we develop are completely industry aligned. We first work with the industry to understand the quantitative and the qualitative requirements there. Then we basically map a particular job role. We collate all the skills, compile, and have it ratified. So each of our qualification pack essentially is ratified by about 30 industry partners. So it's an industry acceptable qualification pack, because ultimately we believe people we are training and skilling, they would have to go to the industry and find jobs there. So it's very essential that we train people as per the requirement and as per the demand of the industry and what essentially they require. Apart from that, the council, we apart from being engaged with the academia, we try to develop an environment in which the training partners are affiliated to with the council as per the norms of the experience and the capability they have for each job role. So we impart skill-based training through a network of training partners across the country. Apart from that, we also do the assessment and certification. We are the certifying authority under the NSQF in the electronic sector. So we have an ecosystem consisting of the training partners on one side and the assessment partners who do the assessment on the other side. Apart from the certificate, then apart from that, we are industry representative. We are very, very closely aligned with the industry. Our governing council members essentially are drawn from the various industry who come, who sit, who advise us, who guide us to ensure that all our system, all these skill-based programs we have, they're completely oriented towards the industry. We make things called the SIGs, that is a special interest group. Electronic sector is divided into 14 subsectors. For each subsector, we have people from the industry and specialists coming in, and they form a committee called the special interest group, also called the Industry Advisory Committee, to advise us and to guide us on skilling in that particular sector. Apart from that, we have associate members drawn from the academia and the industry who are there on the council to advise us. So as I told you, as a council, we are essentially into skilling. And on one side, while we would like to align with the academia to impart skill-based courses based on RQP, we are very, very closely linked and aligned to the industry. And so we are a perfect blend in which we are a bridge between the academia and the industry. We have developed about across 14 subsectors. Electronic Sector Skill Council of India has 145 job roles, like ranging from the level 2 job roles to level 7 job roles, and we would strive to add new ones as we move forward. The 25 top job roles on which we are skilling at the moment are essentially on the service side. So these are a list of about 25 of our master courses. We skilled about 2 lakh people last year. About 90% of the skilling has been done in these like job roles. As of now, today, what we do, we are an organization who have about 147 qualification packs across the 14 subsectors. 25 job roles are defined as a high potential in terms of employability and in terms of demand by the candidates that I've shown you previously. We have an ecosystem of 125 training partners across the country who are having about 1,600 centers. So we have presence in the complete geography of the country, and in each particular sector we are scaling. Last year we scaled about 250,000 trainees under various government schemes, and we also established things called centers of excellence, which essentially is to create capacity and to teach the trainer programs. All our training partners who have the trainers now, they have to be certified by our council, so it's a very big exercise. We have 5 COEs currently, 3 on solar and 2 on semiconductors. In the BMS College of Engineering in Bangalore, we have a Center of Excellence on VLSI, and I'm very happy that sir has passed out from that eminent college. We have the Institution of Engineers College in Hyderabad. They also have a Center of Excellence, and the National Institute of Solar Energy under the MNRE. The COE there also is in collaboration with the Electronic Sector Skill Council of India. Apart from that, industry engagement and international alignments of occupation standards. As I told you, our QPs consist of the national occupation standards, and we are now aligning them to global standards. We are very, very closely working with organizations in Canada, Australia, and UK. There's an organization in UK, OCARI, on which some of our QPs have been aligned and accepted, and most of the developed countries, they follow the UK standard, like especially in the Middle East. So in simple parlance, that opens the gate of opportunities for jobs for our people and people skilled under our council for international opportunities. And all this has been achieved in the last 1 year actually. We are not a very old council, so we have gone around developing the intellectual property and building the system. So now as we move forward, I'm sure there will be a better push, and we plan to increase our footprint across the country. So the eminent academia who are present here, they are welcome to join us and align with us, even the MSME sector and the apprenticeship. I think we have a lot of synergies of taking the country forward together as far as scaling and opportunities are concerned. New initiatives, actually, I would just like to talk about corporate marketing. These 5-6 companies which you see, we are very, very closely working with the industry to understand the demand. So these 5-6 companies are a typical example wherein we have gone identified the potential for jobs in the future, and we are working to create manpower aligned to the requirements, the future requirements. So ICOR is under Jabil Group. It is one of the aftermarket services company. They have a center in Manesar employing about 2,000 people. They want to employ about 20,000 people in aftermarket services jobs, and we are working very closely with them to create new QPs and also to train manpower, mobilize and train and offer manpower to these. We are closely working with Foxconn, which is the world's largest EMS company, and they have a requirement of 3 lakh small little girls for PCB assembly across the country. So as the manufacturing sector receives the impetus and support in the country, I'm sure a lot of opportunities will come, and we have to be ready with our trained manpower to address those. So as I told you, the Centers of Excellence we have established to create capacity. We are working very closely with all our industry as well as the training partners and the academia partners to take the country forward and meet all the future requirements of the jobs for the young people coming. Thank you very much. That was a short presentation. I hope I haven't missed out something, and I'm extremely happy, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salim.